Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Milk Podcast. Today I'm joined by Alyath.
So yeah.
Alyath is a friend I met a while back, and we were at an event here in Utah, and he was selling some merch, and I wasn't able to get some at the time, but I contacted him afterwards, and I got some merch by him, and then we decided to kind of collab in the future, work together, me with my photography. He designs clothes, and he's been super chill, and he was kind enough to be here on this podcast, on this low key podcast, low key episode, and I thought it would be great to just kind of talk about how you started up, your process with everything, and kind of what it's like from somebody who designs clothes.
So, well, thank you. Thank you for the intro. Appreciate the time. Appreciate the platform as well. Getting into a little bit of the story just to give them a little bit more. About last year, it was me and one of my brothers, Carmen. Shout out Carmen. We came out to Utah. We were actually doing some content, getting some stuff ready, shooting music videos. Because also, aside from clothing, I'm a musician. I mean, so do a little bit of both.
Right.
And came out to do, just to kind of just explore. It was the first time we really went out of state, saved up to go do a big production. So we rented out some spots and went crazy. So, but the event we met at was the Storm Season Takeover, and that was me getting in contact with a couple of people. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but Storm Season, if you're in Utah, you know. So I got in contact with them, and that's where I got into Mr. Moynes, you feel me? And I was able to just network through that, and once that happened, it was like the first stepping stone for me to be able to really get out of state and really start building that confidence from just going locally and taking it to another level. And as far as how I started, gotta give it up to Mr. Renaissance Taylor, man. Shout out Mr. Renaissance, Indy, Carolyn, Kevin, even Rigo. Like, that's a team right there. Get into it. Like, they've always taught me anytime I needed help when it comes to the art of tailoring specifically. Like, I'm still learning how to become a tailor. I've learned my designing, I've learned my customization, I've learned all of that, but I'm really perfecting, or under the scholarship of them, of course, because they're involved right now. You feel me? I'm still in the stages and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's always just the respect. Building a respect for the culture, it's a respect for the art, learning the etiquette, learning how to be able to really know what it is that they're talking about, how to handle it, the time. It's just like any other art specifically. Feel me? But sewing has been in my family. Like, my family came from Colombia, and when they came from Colombia, they used to sew in the factories. They used to be like Hoboken, Nigeria City. And then my aunt used to do that when I was younger, and I never understood it. And then I started to realize as I got older, like, a lot of the stuff that she left behind, the stuff that I use now. So it's always been in me. You feel me? It's one of those things, the same thing with the music. My father used to be a great dancer, and he used to make music too. You feel me? So it's like all of it comes together. So I'm in my genes, and then later down the road, different people and different actual mentors and influence. I don't even call them mentors, that's family now. Like, anybody that's been around me that's helped me with it, that's family. You feel me? So, but yeah.
Kind of busting you with like the education and helping you like with what they already know and helping you grow and through that way, kind of like a parent, kind of, or just like family member, older brother, older sister.
Exactly. Definitely. Feel me? So that's how I got into it, So shout out to team, feel me? Everybody get into it. Everybody that goes from music, clothing, photos, all that. You feel me? So it's coming real soon,
Yeah, dude. Take a real pause.
Hold on.
I'm gonna also record on my phone just so like
For the
audio in case the audio on that is not the best. Cool. All right. 3, 2, 1. How old were you when you or let me backtrack a bit. What was like the first step that you would consider towards, because right now towards like your music, towards like tailoring, towards like all the, like you're a very artistic person, but where did that start and how did it kind of progress?
Well, the music started when I was like 3. Okay, I've always remembered me being 3 years old, and like anytime I used to hear music, it was the effect it had on me. The ear that I had for music, it used to teleport me places. Like that's how I see music, and that goes with any of the different creative adventures. Because it's like, I say adventures because for me it's an adventure. You feel me? It's not just adventure. It's like, it should be a journey. It should be an expression of how that specific art or cultural impact is going to be able to transform where you're going with it. So say if you're trying to mold something, like with music, I remember being young on YouTube, not even knowing artist names, but I used to type in music, and whatever popped up, I'm listening to it. So like one thing was like Eminem When I'm Gone, and like, you get what I'm saying, like early stuff, like, and even Rihanna, like fucking Adam Levine, like all that shit, like Maroon 5, fucking Wiz Khalifa, fucking all that shit, like those were the early. But before I even knew their names, I knew it was music. I was so young I couldn't comprehend anything outside. I just used it. That's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? And then I always had visions of just creating stuff. I always wanted to. My imagination was one of my biggest things that I always feel like made me who I am. You feel me? Because not only did that help me in my creative endeavors, but it helped me just emotionally, psychologically. Like I used to just sit there and imagine, like, yo, I can't wait when I get to this age. I want to be doing this. I want to be doing that. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that ability of being able to like have something in your mind, think about it, really, really want it, and going for it, and then having that happen. And sometimes you forget, but then you'll find certain things along the way. Like for me, I remember one time before I graduated high school, I wrote to myself freshman year. I graduated. 2 years later, all this shit's going on. Fucking like this mad bullshit, mad chaos. Go back to my freshman year book. I see all the answers.
Oh, damn.
Because I wrote to myself. It's a lot of the time, it's like all of those aspects are therapy. It's a way for a lot of people to express versions of themselves. You get what I'm saying? And that's how it was for me. With music, I started off just, that was my therapy, but then it went from me just enjoying the music to me wanting to express myself. And then since I learned how to do that with that, it also went into everything else that I felt like I wanted to create. And when I always used to see clothing, it was like, damn, I want to be able to do that. Like even in high school, the Renaissance came.
Shout out Renaissance.
Shout out Renaissance Taylor, you feel me? Once he came, and then I heard that they were having a sewing class.
Yeah.
I sat right in front, the whole auditorium. I walked in with some Marc Jacob moon boots, some crazy shit. Like, if I found that picture, I really was on some shit. Like, feel me? That scarf on. I sat right in front to make sure that, like, yo, no, I'm serious. Feel me? And ever since then, it was like, I was the only guy at first in the sewing class. And then I just took it from there. Like, he's seen it, he's seen the potential in it, took me under his wing, and really, like, been blessing me ever since. Feel me? And ever since then, we've been working on flyers, you feel me? 1080, clothes on the hanger, decks, and then also with Karma, we got Silent Hill, so it's like the guidance and the way that it's all been able to just expand from just someone believing and taking that chance on somebody is real beautiful. And it's built a big family, feel me?
I see that you say that when you started like music, it was kind of affecting you, it was kind of transcending you and helping like you visualize what you wanted to do in the future and where it could possibly take you.
So,
And yeah,
go ahead.
I just want to say that is that something that you expect to give other people, kind of with your clothing, with your music, kind of give them a similar feeling?
It's the interpretation of how you take the art is really upon the perspective of oneself.
Mm-hmm.
I personally just hope that it's a good impact. You get what I'm saying? Because like, now I ain't gonna sit here and say like sometimes the shit that I put out isn't gonna be a good impact, but it may be a sad song. But at the end, you'll be able to understand the lesson to help you get out of that mentality and feel like, damn, I'm related to you. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of the times, the one thing that gravitates us to certain music is the relatability of it all. The authenticity that you can feel from the actual artist. There's a difference between stuff that's here now, and then there's stuff that's going to be here forever.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, there's a difference between classics and then just a one hit. You get what I'm saying?
Of course.
Feel me? And that's the type of stuff. Now, taking that into clothing is the same thing. If there's a lot of people that, all right, think about it like this. Everybody used to rock Bape. Now it's not Bape no more. It's Chrome Heart. You get what I'm saying? It's a trend. There's a difference between trends, and then there's a difference between like the people that are still solidified.
Yeah.
Louis, Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Like things of that nature. Even Chrome Heart. Chrome Heart at first didn't get the recognition because they were in the 80s. And then now, damn near 30 years later, everything's fucking going crazy. Even 40 years later. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that sometimes, like, it takes certain things that's become like the foundation, or some things that just don't move, kind of like how I think the word is like iconic, or like Eminem, like iconic, but you know there's a lot of other rappers that they're gonna be forgotten 50 years from now, 100 years from now, and maybe they're trending, but
yeah. And that's the thing, it's like it goes into that aspect of it doesn't matter what you do as long as you are you. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of the people that stood the test of time was because they were themselves. They didn't allow the times to change them. And if they had to adapt, they still adapted in their own way. They didn't allow what was happening around them to mold them. They molded themselves and made the atmosphere around them go and mold to them. Because it's the difference between leaving an impact and making your impact.
What do you mean by that?
Leaving your impact is more so just you're here one moment, they feel you, and that's it. Making your impact is when you're able to go into a place and you mold it. You mold the impact, not just by, all right, I've been here, people see me here one time. No, I was here, and every time that I come out to this place, people are here, this is going on, this is organized. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a different impact overall. You can leave your impact, or you can make your impact. Leave your impact is just, all right, you come as you please, and then that's just leaving your impact.
Yeah.
Making your impact is you coming in and being like, no, this is how it's going to be. This is what's going to happen. This is this, and that. And a lot of the times, you don't have that control most of the time because there's always a possibility of things not going that way.
Right.
But how do you adapt to that? How do you handle that to still feel content enough to know that you're going to be able to get what you need to do and get that done? You get what I'm saying? So that's the difference. At least in my eyes.
That's a great mentality, and that's something that I see that I personally need to work on. Have you always had that mentality where you're like chasing that authenticity,
Fuck no. I would be real honest, no, I have not. There's been plenty of times where I've been in a place where it's like I didn't know myself, or I kept trying to be something that I wasn't, just for the sake of it, just to fit in, just to not be the one that sticks out. But either which way, I always stuck out. So it was like, what, I'm just doing this to please some people that already didn't like me as is? For what? When I should just be pleasing myself to know that at the end of the day, if I'm happy, nobody else outside of that can fuck with my happiness. Because if I'm truly happy, no one should be able to take away my happiness. And it doesn't matter what they do or how it is. Now, I ain't gonna say depending on what they do, because at the end of the day, disrespect always has to be handled depending on the situation. You know what I'm saying? But it's also about the way that you handle it. Because at the end of the day, someone can do something fucked up to you, but the moment you go do something fucked up to them, The retaliation is what gets you with some shit. You get what I'm saying? Not the person that initially poked you. You get what I'm saying? But
mutual destruction.
Exactly. That's just a cycle.
Yeah.
Eventually, you have to choose what part do you play in that cycle. Are you the enabler, or are you the one that's just contributing? Well, either which are enabling and contributing on both sides, but you get what I'm saying? It's just about, are you going to be the one that puts an end to it, or are you going to be the one that continues it?
Not a lot of people have that perspective. I think it's
I think
it's healthy. I mean, I think it's good, and I think that I think the word I'm looking for isn't healthy, but I think from the sound of it, it's the mentality that propels your business forward regardless of the situation that you're in. And I think ultimately that's mostly that's a great part of what I respect about you, is how you go about your business and about how it seems like you're always progressing, like always pushing, and you're not stuck up in like your emotions. Like a lot of people allow, me too sometimes, like how you feel emotionally becomes intertwined with your business, becomes intertwined with what you do, becomes intertwined. Like if somebody, like disrespects you or something, but you're always thinking in terms of what's best for my business, what's best for me, what's best for the future, what's best for getting things done. And yeah, I have to handle disrespect, but how do I go about it with staying in line with what I need to get done, which I think is really interesting, and I think it's good. And yeah,
I appreciate that, because it's like, for me, it took me a long time. You got what I'm saying? I would be a fraud to sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, I've been like this since I was, no, fuck no. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I only learned that from failing so many times. There's been plenty of times where it was like, I'm focused on business, but I'm chasing women. You get what I'm saying? Or it's like, I'm focused on business, but I'm only focused on the attention. You get what I'm saying?
Damn.
You get what I'm saying? It's just about, you can't be delusional to yourself about your goals. You get what I'm saying? If you focused on business, focus on the business. If you're not focused on the business, or if you feel other things intertwining with the business, take a second to step back and be like, all right, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? What is coming with that? You get what I'm saying? Bro, there's been plenty of times where I've been, shit, and wifey, I love you, but I gotta keep it real. You feel me? There's been plenty of times where I've had females try to go and kick it to me on the business, and then that caused conflicts with wifey, and then she like, oh, are you doing this or are you doing that? But I can't say nothing, because at first my approach was very different. You get what I'm saying? But I'm saying I'm focused on business, but I'm over here more focused on attention and this and that. That's not business. You get what I'm saying? That's just, it disguised as business, but it's really something else. You get what I'm saying? But once I'm matured enough for me to be like, yo, this isn't doing it for me. This isn't what I know this is what it's supposed to be. You get what I'm saying? I had to break myself down and take all of that into consideration and push that into a place. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you gotta understand your pace and your overall power in your life. What do you do in your life? How do you control your life? Because at the end of the day, it's your life. You get what I'm saying? Other people may affect your life, but you're the one that's in control of your life. So it's the same way with your business. Think about it. When you run your own business, if you're the only one that's running your business, if you stop, business stops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that goes with everything. But to be honest, it's just about going through the motions. Going through the motions, filling it all out, understanding what comes with whatever field you're in specifically. And that goes for anybody. Whatever field you guys are in, understand, dissect it, learn the factors that affect you and your work ethic, and take that into a whole different system. And when I say different system, I mean calibrate yourself based off those factors. Once you know how your engine runs, keep that shit going, maintain, recoup, repeat. But yeah, so that's how it is. Understand yourself, bro. Understand yourself, understand your business, understand your work ethic, environment. And then once you have all of that, you have a sense of direction. And the sense of direction comes with yourself and your goals. That's what you have to follow. Yeah, man.
Yeah, greatly put. And I think I'm still kind of like processing all of that, and how I can put it into my own life. But so, what does that mean for you right now?
For me, as of now, it's just, to be honest, I'm a person that is very, very giving.
Mm-hmm.
I give a lot. And I had always tried to, like, give to everybody because that just made me happy.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And after a certain point, it was like, from me giving everything, it made me happy. But I felt like there's still things that I wanted for myself that I wasn't giving myself. You get what I'm saying? So I had to kind of like take a step back and be like, listen, I can still give, but I need to give to myself to be able to maintain myself, to be able to give to everybody. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like, I had to be a little selfish. And when I say selfish, I know it's like a negative connotation. I was just talking to Whitey about that, but it's like, when you're selfish, it can also be seen as self-care though.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, taking care of yourself can be seen as selfish.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, depending on how you are or how the people around you are, if you keep giving and giving and then you start being selfish, if they really rock with you, they should understand that you're doing it for a bigger purpose. At least if you're doing it with the right intentions. You get what I'm saying? Because you could be selfish with the wrong intentions also. So it's like a very thin line of how you walk that. But like, personally, overall, it's like, once you learn how to maintain your inner emotional stability with that, that's how it's going to be able to change the way that you go about anything. And for me, that's what I needed to do. I needed to change, reroute, redesign, recalibrate. And even with the music, bro, I've been sitting on so much stuff now, and I've been working on so much stuff. It's like, the way that I plan to just flood everything, it's like I'm gonna flood everything and go right back into my lab. Like,
go right back into what?
The lab.
Oh, got you.
Feel me? Like, because I was focused on quality. Quality has always been everything. Even when it comes to clothing, like, everything is quality. Like, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I made stuff and it wasn't quality. That's why I just never pushed it out. You feel me? Being a perfectionist. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes being yourself is the hardest thing too, because it's like, you're your biggest critic. To you, anything that you may find as a fuck up is always amplified. But if you show it to somebody else, they might not notice it. You know what I'm saying? Ah, shit. There you go, baby. I'm not a text. But
You think?
I love it.
So, to reiterate, you're saying that it's important for you to, because you're so giving, you like to give to people, but you recently realized that you have to balance that out with giving to yourself and doing it in a self-care rather than a selfish way where it's like good, and then that way it also helps you see those people that are around you and they see you being, giving to yourself in a positive way. And I don't know if this is something that you said or something that like I'm thinking about, but you can kind of measure the response to that as to see, like, are they here because they care about me, or are they here because they want something out of me?
Exactly. And I didn't say that, but you got the gist of it. Yeah. It's because at the end of the day, when you're doing business, you gotta identify what you're doing business with. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna do business with anybody, you have to understand who that person is. It's either a verbal, and honestly, business isn't really verbal. Once you get to those major parts, everything's on paper.
Yeah.
So you gotta know, like, everything can look nice in front of you, but it's like, you gotta look deeper than that. It's not just in the aspects of what is there and what's not there. No, it's about always understanding. Physically, something can look very enticing, but everything that glitters ain't gold. You feel me? Like, it's not always pretty. they could present it pretty, but that shit could get dark. And I've seen that a lot of the times. I try to, or even if I'm trying to help people out of the dark,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? You try to give people light, but a lot of the times it's up to that person. And I've realized I can't. There's been a lot of people that I've tried to change.
Yeah.
And I'll say that truthfully. And that's not something that is a good thing, because a lot of the times you gotta accept people for who they are.
Yeah.
But I would always try to feel like, in my mind, I'm trying to change them for the better.
Yeah.
To help them. But
Mhm.
that's not. Who am I to say that? You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm not the higher up. I don't know what's their purpose or what they gotta go through or what they have or what's going on. I'm just a person with an opinion that has their own feelings, and that's how I'm speaking. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but my opinion doesn't make it any better. Your opinion doesn't make it any better. It's just about, and I mean that in the sense of one's greater than the other. You get what I'm saying? We're all equal and entitled to how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about what we feel personally is going to help us to benefit. But
have you had some success with that, where you're trying to help somebody out of, like, quote unquote, the darkness, and it goes well?
yeah, I definitely have. But for me, it's like, a lot of people would try to give me like props for that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think it's just human nature, to be honest. Like, I don't really look at that as like a big accomplishment. I just feel like that's just how we should be in general. You know what I'm saying? I feel like society lacks a lot of that just sympathetic or empathetic energy overall. Because a lot of the times nowadays in this society, it's always taken advantage of. Or also on the flip side, people get fucking offended over anything. Like, a lot of people live lies, so when you tell them the truth, it pops their bubble.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's also, you gotta know, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to decide what you around. Because I had to, like, I went from all of that. I went from me telling myself this and trying to be this, and also trying to be the opposite of that and not allow anything to affect me. It's like, at the end of the day, you gotta find you. The moment you find you, and it's not just gonna be like, all right, one day I found myself. No, you still got a whole life to live. You're gonna keep changing. You're gonna keep evolving. There's gonna be, like, the person you were 10 years ago and the person you're gonna be 10 years from now, two completely different people.
Yeah.
Including the person that you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like...
So what you're saying is that you constantly have to refine yourself, re-understand yourself.
Exactly. You always gonna have to. Because think about it, there's gonna be new experiences, new things, new trauma, new good, new bad, all of it. Because all of it has a bigger purpose. And all of those are lessons that are gonna help you along the way. And a lot of the time it's more so just preparation for what you asked for or what you feel like you have coming towards you, depending on what you've asked at one point. And
that was a lot.
Yeah. Feel me? Because a lot of the time we ask for stuff, and even if it ain't good, we've asked for it. And then we got to deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had it in my life where I ask for something thinking it's what I want, and then I get it, and I'm like, damn.
I really didn't want this.
I thought I wanted this.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Nah, I feel it, and I definitely say the same, bro. It's not an easy task at all. It's not an easy task, cause it fucks with your psyche. It starts to really think of, like, you start going back, but it's like, you could want to touch fire until you touch fire.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's crazy analogy, but yeah, that works perfectly.
You get what I'm saying? Like, literally.
Yeah, you think it's all beautiful, and you're like, man.
And then you go, and then you get burnt, and it's like, damn. Well, now I know, but I could have avoided this. You feel me? And it's like, but I've done that my damn self.
Mm-hmm.
There's been plenty, there's been plenty of times where I'm like, ooh, and it takes longer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, real shit though. Like, you be also like, but it all depends on how you are. You feel me? And some people learn differently, and you just take that from what it is, man. Yeah.
So, to wrap up.
Yeah.
What's some piece of advice that you would give to a younger you? Somebody say who wants to get you where you're at right now, as in where you're at mentally, where you're at in understanding yourself, where you're at with business, with making that a priority, and having kind of like the connections that you have and the relationships that you have. What's some piece of advice that you could give to somebody who wants to get to that point, but isn't quite there yet?
I would say, is the camera on?
Yeah, but this is recording.
Oh, yeah, but so what I would say is to be, first off, I already kind of do this, so I'm gonna do it like I'm talking to Stanley. So Stanley, if you hear this is for you. Stay true to yourself. Don't get weak in the moments that you need to display strength, because those are the moments where you see how much your strength is being tested. Weakness is always going to be felt, the same thing as fear, but you cannot allow those emotions to control the wheel that you steer. When it comes to finding your direction, understand that there's a lesson, but most of it is always based off the internalized perspective. Once you find how you can go and figure out where you need to be, that's where you can change every factor on your scene. And that's more so of a riddle, but aside from the philosophical, stay true to yourself, maintain your happiness, don't allow others to take you out of yourself, and be the best version of yourself every day. Just because you have a bad moment doesn't mean you have a bad day.
Beautifully put, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate you. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
And appreciate it. Everybody go follow Mr. Moise. You feel me? Mr. Moise's Instagram page, photographer, and then check out the new stuff that's coming soon, yo.
Yeah, check out Thex. I'll leave a link. And yeah, this guy's super cool. All the stuff he makes is incredible. You guys are gonna love it. Thanks so much.
We got the first drop, so if y'all want a sneak peek, check out his page. And come fuck with him on the photo. We gotta get busy. Tight shit.